here she is.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm okay. I have Bell's palsy. Do you know what this is? Yeah, so when I laugh, it's like one side. So it's weird. And I feel like light in my eyes just feels I'm just very tired, let's say. But I'm okay. How are you?
I'm okay as well, but yeah, I heard about the Bell's palsy,
Yeah.
and like I don't know much about it. Does it last long? Like, what can you tell me about it?
I'm on pills. Like I went to the hospital because it's the same symptoms as a stroke, heart stroke. So they just looked at me. They were like, no, it's temporary. You take the pills like cortisone and an antiviral, and then it just goes away. And I have to be like checked by doctors. So today I have an appointment. So they just look at you and check that everything is okay. It's supposed to leave in like a month. It's just really like weird, you know.
Mm.
You feel pain in your jaw, and I have trouble to speak a bit. It feels like when you go to the dentist,
I was
and
gonna
then
ask that.
yeah, exactly. So it's weird, and this eye doesn't close, so you I feel a lot of dryness, and I'm like swollen in my face. So it's just
Right.
really weird. It's like a weird experience.
Yeah. Well, I hope you start feeling better soon.
Ah, thank you. I hope so too.
Yeah. But apart from that,
Yeah.
um, how are you feeling about everything in the world at the moment with you?
Uh, I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed with a lot of emotions. I'm going through some stress with the release of the EP. I want everything to be really good and okay, and I feel like there's a lot going on in the world right now. So I'm a bit overwhelmed, but I'm trying to have a really positive and strong attitude towards everything, you know. So
Yeah.
I feel strong, and I feel incarnated in who I am and what I'm supposed to do with all of this. So how do you feel?
I'm doing just fine, but
Yeah.
what I know about you, you seem like a very positive person. You kind of embrace life for sure.
Yeah.
So all these trials and tribulations that you've had, I hope that they're going to be in the past soon. But maybe it's going to lead to new music, and sometimes the things that we go through in life,
Yeah.
you know, the positive outcome of that is that it leads to creative expression, and I know that that's something that you've done in the past, so maybe
Yes.
that's what will come from this.
Yes, totally, totally. And I think when you have a way to express yourself through art, whatever form it is, or sport, or whatever it is that your heart feels like, whatever emotions we go through as humans, it's really important to have this vein where you can just let it all out, you know. So
Yeah.
thank you for saying that. Mhm.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
I know that you came from like a pretty creative background with your family and your mom and your dad being involved in creative endeavors. What was the first music you remember listening to as a kid when you were at home with these people around?
Pink Floyd, Rush, um, how's it called? Silent Lucidity. It's a song from Queen's Reich, you know.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, like Enigma, and Michael Jackson. My father had like so many like progressive rock tastes, you know. So yeah, like that was the first music I've been submerged in. But also really Muse. My mom loved Muse, and she would like blast the sound in the house with that, and Coldplay as well. So really more like rock kind of music, and also really our music from home. So we had drums, you know, just drums, sometimes like healing drums, or like indigenous voices. So um, traditional sounds with mixed with like rock, pop rock, you know. So that
Mhm.
was kind of the first um, music I've heard when I was young.
So that was the stuff that your parents were playing around the
Yes,
house.
yes.
Do you remember an artist or an album that you claimed as your own that wasn't something that your parents were listening to, and you like that
Oh,
became your identity for a while?
Yes, when I was younger, Avril Lavigne, I sang her one of her songs in a talent show at school when I was like 8 years old or 9 years old ish.
Can you
And
remember what song it was?
Skater Boy.
Ah, okay, of course.
Yeah. And then Licoriste, which was a movie, French movie, um, where it was kids singing in a
Okay.
choral. So that was like a huge inspiration for me. And I loved Narnia soundtrack. I used to listen to this soundtrack over and over and over again. And when I felt like anxiety as a child, I used to like scream at my mom, being like, "Put Narnia soundtrack," you know.
And when did you start? At what age did you start kind of dabbling in music yourself and starting to create things?
I used to write lyrics in school. Like there was a class of like, let's say French class, and I would write lyrics, but it would never end up being anything really. It was more like my mind going into like trying to process emotions. I used to like more take artists and I would sing, but I started to create my own music. Like when my father started to be sick, I started to teach myself piano. So
Right.
with like simple chords, then I would just like do one chord and then I would invent a melody and then write words on the melody. So it started, let's say, 8 years ago, where I really like would do lyrics and melodies with my own like chords. So yeah, 8 years ago.
So, what age were you 8 years ago?
I was 18, 17.
So you mentioned playing piano, and is that how you write all your music now?
No, not all the time. Sometimes I just get like a beat from my producer and then he sends it to me and then I just invent a melody on it. So sometimes I just take sounds and music without any melodies and then I create my own, and then I just take those melodies and then put it into another key tone, or so it's, as long as there's like something behind, I can just create on it.
Yeah.
Mm.
So if you say to somebody, "Oh, that you're a musician and a singer and dancer and all kinds of things," what how do you sum up your music to them if they ask
Mm.
what kind of style?
it's it's complicated a bit, but I would say like very emotional. The first thing I do is like I have emotions and I have to express it. So it's real human emotions, and then I use the indigenous sounds, like the percussions and let's say flutes, into the production,
Mhm.
and then like take a turn into pop style of music, so it's kind of world music from indigenous, then emotions, and then so melody comes from emotion, and then the pop world joins everything together, electro pop kind of thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's a
it's
really
vast, and but yeah.
yeah, it's a really interesting mix, and I think it's what helps you stand out. Are there other artists that you feel are kind of in the same musical genre?
Yes, Aurora definitely inspired me. Yes, her music is beautiful, and Glass Animals, I love it. Hans Zimmer, I love it. London Grammar, Noga Erez. There's so many artists that inspire me, and indigenous artists as well. Christian Lavro from Home, Aisha Bastien, and there's also Jaylee Wolf and Nimkish and Neon Dreams. There's a lot of artists that inspired me, and and then I feel that I can learn from them and just bring this back into the studio after. So,
Yeah. So we've
mhm.
got the music, but the visual side of what you do seems to be really, really important. Talk to me about like how you want to take that forward and what you've been doing with the visual side.
Yes, I'm playful with that, and I'm experiencing different kind of styles. Um, I've always loved the kind of Avatar kind of style where you're just like Avatar, The Last Airbender.
Mm.
It's a child series. I used to listen to this when I was really young, and I got really inspired by this. Um, so it's kind of taking the indigenous, mm, you know, accessories, let's say this for instance, and then having a really big like sweatshirt, kind of street sweatshirt, and then so it's mixing streetwear hip hop style into like indigenous or culture, you know. So it's many things, and I love to mix a lot of things, and I would love even though to like have a classic style or sexy style with like mixed with indigenous. So it's always like mixing, taking a specific style and then mixing it with like some small accessories from my culture. So let's say like my body paint, I always use body paint, or I love to paint my body, you know. So the mix of what is going on today that I feel is beautiful, and mixing with my past, my ancestors, how we were, you know. So yeah,
Yeah.
but it's an experience. I'm still like every day exploring how I want to be and how I express myself through style and clothing and makeup, you know. So
Yeah. And then that carries through into your videos as well, which are very, you know, they're very cinematic and striking. And I think it really, really adds to the music with you. Is it you that comes up with the ideas for the videos, or how do those kind of conversations work?
yes, it comes from me, but I also ask a lot of questions to my friends and community and the people I work with. So let's say Youssef Berroir, who was the filmmaker or the shot, I don't know how to say it in English, but
the videographer.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, videographer. From If God Had a Boat, one of my last single. So I ask question. I'm like, okay, well, is this pretty? Is this good? Is this really what we want? Because like what you have in mind, then mix with the budget and mix with like what we can actually really do and what can really be nice on camera when you don't have like a team. Because like I have my friends around, or like, you know, so since I'm a bit alone in this in the creating of like the images, it makes it hard to like put the exact vision of what you want really, you know. So it's a mix. I speak of what I want to let out and what I feel is the emotion, and then I ask questions. And then for, let's say for instance, the style, I'm like, oh, I think this would be really beautiful. Can you, like, I have a designer where I'm like, take this and then do it how you feel like it, you know. So it's kind of setting the mood, setting the vein maybe, or the pulse of what I want, and then mixing other hearts in the project. So it's a mix of everyone in the process.
Excellent. So what can you tell me about this new EP?
It has been so much work and a lot of stress and a lot of challenges, and so it's kind of like my first baby, you know, with a bunch of lesson learned, you know, on how I wrote music and on how I was not disciplined, you know, at all, like doing the things, or I was always last minute. So there's a lot of things that I take with me for the second EP or album, to get it more less stressful, you know. But I feel really grateful that it is done, and it's kind of like there's so much emotions gathered in this EP, where it's a bit like mixed up, you know, but like grateful that all the humans that participated in the creation of this, and now it's finally like it's going to be out. I just feel humbled by the fact that I'm on my way and I'm on my path, and I've done it, you know, because I've been struggling all my life with like finishing projects or finishing actually something. It is one thing to want to do something and actually pursuing it and doing it until the end, you know. So this comes in with like confidence and like discipline, like I said, and so many things. So it's like kind of finding those tools inside in order to actually have a project. So really humble and grateful that it's the moment now.
Yeah. So how many songs are on the EP?
Six songs.
6 songs. And is there a common thread with the lyrical content?
Yes, emotion. Emotion. But like a bunch of different emotions. So like true love or complicated relationships, and then society, where you feel lost in society, and when you try to figure out what is going on, you know, here on earth, and like finding your way into like stress and money and what you have to do, and like depression, anxiety, and then being grounded and being strong and being like a warrior, with yourself. So it's kind of like being a human in like specific emotions. So this is like the common thread, I would say.
Okay. Yeah. And what about live? Do you see these songs being played in a live environment?
Yes. Oh, yes. For sure, though, there's things that I really want to bring a particular direction in the live, because like how it sounds in the recording, I want to bring it more raw in the live shows. So let's say Home to You, I imagine it more in the beginning, piano and just my voice, and then bringing it more pop and more like percussion. So I totally see a nice live show for this, but like modify it a bit into like more what I want to give through the songs.
Okay. I can imagine your performances would be really theatrical.
Yes.
Like I can imagine you kind of it's going to be more of a show rather than you just singing on stage.
Yeah.
That's just from seeing what you've done in the past and seeing your videos. So if you could go on tour with one artist, like as the opening act, where you think you would enjoy the tour, but their fans would enjoy what you do, is there somebody that springs to mind?
AURORA.
I just thought you might say that.
Yeah, like her soul and her authenticity, her pureness, her softness just really resonates with who I am. And like she does like sounds where I used to always do those sounds, and she like used paint, and I'm like, I just feel her, and I feel she's just so beautiful, and she inspires me a lot. And I think our sound could really be a good mix for like a first show. And totally.
Yeah, I agree. Have you ever seen her live?
No, she was sold out when she came to Montreal, and I was really sad.
Yeah, she seems to be getting super popular, like at the moment. I think a lot of people have been seeing her videos online, and she's such an interesting person. She's a bit otherworldly, but beautiful as well. And the music's incredible. So
she's amazing.
Yeah, so we have now put that idea of you playing with AURORA out into the universe.
Yeah.
So we'll wait to see what happens. So
yeah.
So the EP is coming out, and it's a very personal thing for you. All your music is very personal, and like you said, talks about emotions and things like that. You're obviously excited to get it out to the world. Are you a bit nervous as well?
I'm nervous, yes, but it's a good nervous. It's like when you're pregnant and you're gonna have a child, let's say, you're nervous because you're like, how will this go, and will it be okay? Is it like people are the people gonna like it? Am I gonna offend someone? Like it's so like important for me that it can resonate, and so I'm really excited overall. And this nervous feeling inside is not toxic. I don't let it being like something that limits me. It's more something that's like, I hope it's gonna be okay, but I'm very confident in the process, and I really hope that the people can get what they need. The people that needs, I think it's just gonna be whatever, like the people that are going to hear it, I hope that they get what they need from it.
Okay, so with your lyrics, do you like them to be open to interpretation so that people can sort of interpret the songs in their own way?
Totally, of course. Like it doesn't mean what I meant at the moment can be just taken by someone else and put them in their own situation and their own life. So totally, I wish that is the case. So
last question, thinking about your upbringing and the whole First Nations things and like that, and your outlook on life, which seems very positive despite some setbacks.
Yes.
What would a successful career be for you? How would you define success?
I would define success. I think it's a big question. Um, it's a lot of aspects, I think, but like true success, I don't want to be cheesy, but like I think that true success is being happy and aligned with what you're supposed to do. So it's not about like making money or like being big or being like, I just think that pursuing and always working and always being in tune with what your heart wants and being happy in the process, then I think that you're on your way to success, you know. So it's following this passion and this fire inside and never let it die. So to pursue always what you want, and then it's going to work, and whatever work means, that's your question, but like
Mm.
for sure I want to live with music, so make money out of it. But of course, so success would be as well like to live from it and not to have a side job, because this is very exhausting sometimes to just, and it's distractful. So of course, to make money and to be on stage for me is like success. But yeah, so I think it's many things.
Well, I feel like you've made a good start, and
Yeah.
I can definitely see a successful future for
Thank
you. So I wish you every ounce of good luck, and I hope that you start feeling better very
you.
soon.
Thank you so much.
Great. Well, it was really nice speaking to you. Have an enjoyable rest of the day and a nice weekend. And
Yay.
you take care.
Yes, you too. Thank you for listening.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye.